Hey everybody, it's Melanie coming to you from the Pea Island of North Carolina. This is like a wildlife refuge. There's no cars on the beach, not that there's much beach left. Since 2016, these beaches have decreased in size by a lot. It's interesting to me that you can see the seashells up here, that this is like the high tide watermark now. We're sitting in a dune, out of the wind, not in the dune, but right before the dunes, and enjoying all of the beautiful bird species that there are to offer. I apologize, the wind is definitely working against us today. Help steady it a little bit. So I made a video this morning talking about the Rapture and those that are going to be left behind and what all that meant. And if you haven't seen that, that would be called part 1. We're going to call this Left Behind part 2 because more information came in the more that I thought about it. And it was very interesting that I was having that conversation with y'all on the video, and my dad called. And in the video, I talk about how I'm disconnected from my family. And when I say disconnected, I'm distanced. I still love them. I still tell them that I love them. I still go to visit them. I still spend time with them when they're in town or when I go home to see them. I still participate as a family member. However, I choose to be very distant because they choose to stay in that negative energy. And so my dad called talking about that, like the moment I'm talking about that. And so I let the call go through. I wanted to finish what I was doing. And I called him back, and he's like, well, shit hit the fan again, and all this shit's going wrong, and life sucks, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, the irony, Dad, the irony. And so I talked to him about, the feelings that he's feeling. And yes, I understand that, your flight being delayed an hour and a half is inconvenient and frustrating and all of the things that come along with that. And I said, you got to look for the good. Look for the things to be joyful about and to have gratitude for. And I promise you that that's going to shift what the vibration and the energy that you're feeling. It's going to shift you out of that, and you're going to start to experience more good things happening. And he didn't really take that or understand it. And granted, part of me says he's not ready to hear it, but don't call me in the middle of me giving a video about this exact topic. It's as if your higher self is trying to tell you something and trying to get you to listen and trying to get you to hear. And so we went back and forth and talked a little bit more, and I said, Dad, he said that he bought some children that were at a restaurant that their mother was working at. He bought them some coloring books and crayons and stuff like that. And I was like, look at you brightening people's lives. Look at you changing people's lives. And he's like, well, I don't see it. And I said, Dad, you used to wave and smile at everybody. And one day I asked you, why do you wave and smile at everybody? And he said, because I want to brighten their day. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they're having a good day or not. And maybe just a wave and a smile will brighten their day. And I said that you told me that probably, 20, 30 years ago. And I remember that. And I heard that. And probably 30 years. I heard you say that. And I listened. And you know what I do to every single person that walks by or drives by? I wave and smile. Why? Because that might affect them in a positive way. That might change their life in a positive way. That might be the only connection that they have with human society. And I was like, you did that for me. You were the one to teach me that. And the unsaid things are all the shit that you put me through because of your unhealed trauma and your wounding and all that stuff. You still showed me the goodness that was there. And I was like, I appreciated that so much that somebody taught me that, because other people don't know that. And that kind of set him back. He got a little bit quiet. And so then his flight got delayed again, and he called me again, and I called him back because I left my phone in the car. And we talked about it again. And so I feel that there are people out there that have been left behind, such in the movie Left Behind. the rapture happens, and there's all these people left behind that are like, holy shit, what just happened? How did I end up here and I'm all alone? And they're in the place of goodness. The craziest God stuff is happening right now, because I have never in my life, that's not the right one, let's see. Never in my life have I seen, where are they? Canadian geese hanging out at the beach. That's never happened. So there's a family of friends down there just hanging out, walking and patrolling. There were big old footprints in the sand, and I didn't think it was them. I thought it was pelicans or something, but I guess they're resting. Maybe they're looking for something to eat. It's not common at all to have geese on the beach. I've never seen this. So I'm talking about family. There's a family of shit honkers. That's what my friend says, hanging out with us. So there's all these people left behind in this movie after the rapture happens and these people ascend. Let's see if we can follow the family. And I feel like they realize that they are left behind. I don't feel it, you see it. And so then they're scrambling to like heal themselves and fix themselves, to like be able to ascend, to be able to go where their family members went, to be able to go where their loved ones went, and to find Christ and to find God. And I kind of feel like that's what's happening with my dad. And I know this sounds like really crazy and really out there, but I feel like he's grasping for somebody that's able to make changes in his life. And one thing he said to me was, everyone I know is going through shit. Yes, everyone I know is going through shit too. We're all going through shit. We're all going through shit together on a daily basis, because the shit is what transforms you. The shit is what changes your life. The shit is what helps you grow and become more powerful and awesome. And I said, everybody's going through shit. But you know the only person that's not having a bad time? You're talking to her right now. And he's like, what? What do you mean? And I was like, Dad, I'm having a good day, even though I've got stuff I've got to get done, even though I've got busy crap going on in my life, and I feel like I'm always running and going and doing and being. I said, I'm not unhappy about it, and crap happens, but we move on and we grow from it. And I said that the reason why I'm able to say these things, and the reason why I just keep moving it because they're so freaking cute. The reason why I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do and feel as good as I do about it is because I'm choosing to. And it's about the energy that we're choosing to be in. And if we're choosing to find the good, or if we're choosing to find the bad, it all depends on what you want. And it's your journey and your choice, no matter what. And maybe he heard me and maybe he didn't. But there was a reason that he called. And there was a reason that this all came up for him to hear about and listen to. And it almost solidified more into my adventure of life that we are in the time of the rapture, and it is happening. There's my other little friends down there, those little laughing gulls, my spirit animals. We are in the time of the rapture, and it's our choice if we want to be left behind, or it's our choice if we want to choose to move forward and be something that we've never been before, and do something that we never thought we could do before, and ascend into this higher and alternate dimension. So I hope this part 2 video helps y'all out in whatever way that it's meant to. I hope being next to the water calms your soul. There's some pelicans gonna come through the frame here in a minute. Big old pelicans. They're so beautiful. God wasn't messing around when he made birds, man. The airplanes of nature, the conscious airplanes of nature, right? So while we're sitting here together in community, I'm going to read from a book that I've been reading. And then I'm going to let y'all go. All right. This life is a gift, and it is our responsibility to respect and protect that which gives us life. Every generation leaves a mark on this planet. We leave something behind to be remembered by. And we are at a tipping point right now where we will either be remembered as a generation that destroyed the planet, as a generation that put profits before future, or as a generation that united to address the greatest issue of our time by changing our relationship with the earth. We are being called upon to use our courage, our innovation, our creativity, and our passion to bring forth a new world. So in the light of this collapsing world that we see, what better time to be born than now? What better time to be alive than now? Because this generation, we get to change the course of history. Humans have created the greatest crisis that we see on the planet, and the greater the challenge, the higher we will rise to overcome it. And that was, I'm going to butcher this name, Quetzalcoatl Martinez, Indigenous climate activist, address to the United Nations General Assembly on Climate Change, June 2015, from this amazing book called Think Indigenous by Doug Goodfeather. And he is phenomenal. This book is phenomenal. It is changing my life as I read it. There's one more chapter, and I've been talking to our daughters about this as well. I don't want to lose my place here. This book talks about the Earth Warrior. I feel like I'm one of those people. Joelle would say that I am. We're on the chapter of mindful consumption, but here we are with the Watsiata North direction, because this was in the 4 directions of life. And Tahila, I think. Love. What is love but the life force for all of life? Let's consider how dimly or brightly love shines through us in our personal life. What does it mean when we talk about love shining through? It means that love is one of the 4 primal spiritual expressions of our spirit, because it is an accumulation of how we radiate joy, how we embody wisdom, and how we foster harmony in the various ways we show up in life. Love is expressed in how we show our love to others, how we let love in from others, and how we understand and spiritually process and work with love as it matures and evolves. The person you will spend the most time with in your life is you, and that's why it's of utmost importance that you learn to care for, accept, and love yourself first and foremost. It's much more difficult than it sounds because we're often our own worst critic, bully, and abuser. If we want to be loved, both by ourselves and others, we must make ourselves lovable. And we become lovable when we heal the parts of ourselves that we're ashamed of, or that we think are embarrassing or unlovable. Essentially, we must learn to love the many things about ourselves that we think are unlovable, including our emotional weaknesses and physical imperfections, our torrid and shameful past, and our lack of self-confidence and self-worth. When we haven't healed and we don't love ourselves first, we abuse those we are supposed to protect, betraying that which we are supposed to defend. We damage those we are supposed to love, and we hurt those that we are supposed to heal. Hurt people inadvertently hurt people. Through the indigenous ways of natural spirituality and walking the red road, we can find our way back to love through the healing of our invisible moral injuries and trauma. So there you have it. Love yourself. Love this planet. Leave it better than you found it. Give love to others. And we're going to change this world one by one human at a time. And we're going to change it as one big, creative, amazing group of humanity. You can either choose to rise up and meet the challenge, or you can choose to stay stuck. But you're going to feel it. You're going to feel your actions these days. Where in the past you didn't feel it. It wasn't the same. Anywho, hope you all have a blessed day. So much peace, so much love, so much namaste. Hope this healed you a little bit. Sorry for the shaky tripod. We'll upgrade the equipment after I win the Mega Millions jackpot. It's happening. Hashtag pray for a farm. Hashtag lucky bunny farm. Hashtag